This is AV Week, your weekly wrap-up of audiovisual news and information. My name is Tim Albright. I am your host. Welcome back. We spent a couple weeks, I spent a week at the AVWeek Executive Conference, chopped that up, had a nice Thanksgiving holiday, so thank you all for letting me do that. And we're back in the studio now. With us this week is Ed Morgan. Ed is from Display Note, all the way over in Ireland. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. And you?
Good. Thank you for staying up late on a Friday night for us.
Yeah, thanks very much. Thank you very much. Maybe the first time you may hear some screaming children in the background.
That's all right. Give them a Guinness, they'll be fine.
They're very active. That's why they'll be screaming.
It's a joke, kids. Don't give your kids beer. Give them Fireball. Next up is John Green from Advanced AV. How are you, sir?
Wonderful as always, Tim. Good to be here.
Good to see you, sir. John's fabulous 40 under 40 marketing guru extraordinaire is back at work, Miss Marina Gregory. She came back to Twitterverse this week.
And that allows me to do some playing around, too, thus the podcast.
Is that what you're saying? Is that you couldn't do this? Oh, wow.
Mom had me doing the kitchen.
All right. Yeah, I got you. Last but not least, Mr. Sean Robinson from AMX by Harman. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you, Tim?
Good. That's a very, very fancy office you have there.
Thank you. It's Joanne Drulis' old office.
Yes, I like that. That's a nice office. Texas
I dressed it up and it got the smell out.
Oh, jeez.
Wow. Don't tell them I said that.
All right. Texas A&M posted behind him for those of you sports fans out there. And I'll just say this for those in the northern parts of the NFC. The Bears beat the Packers on Thanksgiving, and that's all I care about for the entire NFL season. The entire NFL season in Green Bay on Thanksgiving on Brett Favre night. All I care about. All right. Now that I got that off my chest, Haley Klein is unfollowing me somewhere.
I'm gonna break into that. I'm gonna say my wish is for the Eagles, who've got absolutely no hope whatsoever, take on Craig McCormick's New England Patriots and spank them.
You know
everybody should check in with me on Monday.
Yeah, God love it. The Patriots are so easy to hate. I mean, there was a Twitter, a Facebook meme that a couple weeks ago because some of these teams have been beaten, but it said it's amazing that all of the teams that are unbeaten in the NFL are all mascotted by cats. There was a Carolina Panther.
Right.
There was a Cincinnati Bengal. And of course, the New England Cheetahs. Yeah. All right. Now that we've made jokes about the NFL.
I'm going to send Craig your way.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Go ahead. All right. This is from AV Network, the folks at Nube. Almo Connect offers internet, TV, and voice. Almo Professional AV is the first AV distributor to offer internet, TV, and voice services through carriers nationwide. With the new Almo Connect platform, partners have the ability to incorporate scalable bandwidth for internet, live TV, and advanced voice as part of an overall AV installation, and then receive an ongoing commission for these services. All right. I'm just going to flat out lay this out here first and foremost. I don't get this. I don't. I have friends at Almo. I know lots of folks that are distributors for Almo and both sides, both manufacturers and people who use Almo. Great company. I don't get this. I just don't. John, we're going to start with you. You guys use Almo as
Yep.
one of your vendors. What is I guess what's the benefits of this?
Well, living in Philadelphia, and Elmo's not, it's centered in Philadelphia as well. We have a little bit of a conglomeration called Comcast. And I have to tell you myself that it's probably been, Comcast account managers have come to my office a half a dozen times and said, if we don't, we could pay a commission on. So I think they're simply looking for, the cable industry and Comcast in particular providers are looking for other ways to get the product sold. It doesn't to any degree make sense to me that a distributor would be selling this, but I think there's probably a push on the other side to get it done. I think that the other thing that's interesting to tie things together, you were talking about 4K earlier, is that having the need to have 25 mega bandwidth type of situations is like That's corporate level delivery. So it might work, but I don't understand it either.
Right.
I think there's going to be a greater need for greater bandwidth to the home, to the industry. And in some cases, there are people that just don't know where to get it. So maybe they can clarify it. Maybe they can make the offer simple for the customer. I don't know. What we say.
John, do you think this is coming from customers who are saying, okay, you're offering us the hardware solution, and it's only as good as the network, give us more bandwidth? Or?
I think that I think it's coming from the provider. I think the provider's got bandwidth to sell. Simple as that. And it'll provide it to anybody that can either sell it directly through a distribution or through their church. It doesn't matter. They've got to get bandwidth sold.
So it's pipe for sale.
It's pipe for sale. And again, we've had conversations, and I think other integrators have as well, with a Comcast coming to us and saying, hey, listen, incorporate this into your offering. And we were like, okay. But it's selling a service, which is also difficult for our industry to understand. Just selling a monthly service, monthly allocation is a struggle that this industry's had since the beginning of time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but why is that? I mean, we talked about this at AVWeek. We talked about this at last year's AVWeek. We talked about it at Big LC. I mean, we've talked about ad nauseum. You've written about it.
Yep.
Lots of really smart people have written about it. Why do we have such a problem doing that?
We like boxes. We see boxes. We know it goes. It's tangible. We know what to connect to it. We know when it's going to be used, when it's not going to be used. It's going to take time. That's all. I wouldn't go running to selling this. I've got other issues. I have my own cloud solution on delivering a video, that I'm trying to work out. So
I think it's going to simplify over time as our customer has transitioned into the IT buyer, as they're more accustomed to procuring services over products. When you think about it, a lot of the stuff that IT purchases is very intangible. Where they spend the big money, like on ERP systems such as SAP, Oracle, and Microsoft applications, you can't really touch and feel that stuff, but you interact with it. And they're used to, and now, as you see, the big software companies have moved completely over to service delivery. So Office 365 is a replacement of just a one-time purchase. So as we interact more and more with the IT buyer, I think it's going to become more commonplace.
And also wrapping it around some of the stuff, like, again, I think that, like Office 365, everybody understands that. Even I understand it in a sense as, well, you want to use Excel here, use Office 365. Yeah. It's when they say cloud delivery, off-prem, and all this other stuff, people go,
right.
Oh, I don't understand now. What?
Oh, it's scary.
It's scary.
Right.
Right. So if that goes away, and where somebody like an Almo would come into play potentially is exactly that. They can clarify it, the marketing piece. They can clarify what the deliverable is, and that's going to be key to success.
Okay. Makes sense. And now that you guys were talking about the whole,
and you're not going to get the energy towards it, or we're going to go about it this way. No, we don't want to go that way. And then they create it, and the company that you left comes back and says, oh, you meant that, and buys you. It's remarkable.
$700 million. And it's not, yeah.
Right. It's great. It is absolutely. It is like I sat there and went, oh, I got to go back to school. I got to do something because this is remarkable. It's bigger than that, though. I think that they have that merger is going to solve a real life problem. I mean, it's the Econo solution allowed for cross-platform abilities. One of the biggest ones is integration of Link. I don't think Cisco may have not have been as prepared. It does a reasonably good job, but the ability, and this is where the industry is going, cross platforms. Having Polycom and Cisco and 1,000 others. Look at this. We're on Google Hangouts coming together. And if you have the thread that can bring all that together in a corporate space, home run.
Yeah, I think solutions that can easily bring in other vendors and break outside of enterprise walls and bring in other companies and other infrastructure solutions or collaborative solutions that can do that easily will they will do well. And I see a lot more acquisitions like this over the next couple of years. Relatively small collaborative startups who have the solution, had it at Cisco, didn't have the ability to get it done or was turned down when they did it on their own, but maybe don't have the capacity to scale up both on the security side and I think there will be a start of acquisitions like this from the Ciscos for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
All right, Mr. Robinson, when it comes to this, I mean, you know what? We're getting ready to record our end of the year show in about 3 or 4 weeks. I've been saying this for 4 years that Cisco is going to buy a control company. I still think they are. Not to give you too much of a preview on what my prediction for next year is, but I'm going to predict that they're going to buy a company until they do. And then I'll say, hey, I was right. But Ed's right. They've been buying up. I mean, I think Tamberg was one of the more significant ones over the last few years, at least for our space, right? I mean, suddenly you had Cisco in the middle. Not that you didn't have Cisco before because we used their servers, but suddenly you had Cisco, right? And taking up floor space at Infocom, taking up floor space at ISE. Where do they go with this? Because John mentioned the fact of bringing in Link. You've also got a good swath of other soft codecs that are coming into the market that we've got to be able to integrate into these larger systems, right? I mean, yes, it's great to put it on a laptop and do it on our computers, but it's getting those systems into larger spaces. Where is Cisco going with this?
Well, I think, and Cisco's been doing a great job with the SX80, right? A sort of really low-cost solution for those larger spaces. This definitely could be something that gets integrated into that. What's really interesting about this in particular is, they had their own, Cisco has a UC platform that's soft codec based, which is Jabber, and which has, a lot of the UC functionality here: audio conferencing, video conferencing, web conferencing, with WebEx, and then Skype for, I don't know about Skype for Business, they actually don't have that yet, but the unified comms piece, they actually already had a solution. What this tells you is that they're not happy with that solution. It's an extremely competitive space. Microsoft, I'm telling you, I used to make the Microsoft jokes just like everybody else, right? But they have turned it around under the new leadership, and they're developing some fantastic products. Skype for Business is a great product, and I know there's occasional issues with it, but it's a great product, a nice user experience, and I think Cisco found that to get Jabber to where they needed it to get, it's easier to acquire, and this again shows you what smaller companies can do from an innovation perspective and how quickly they can do it. And to John's point, Cisco's done this several times where people have left and the company and or were laid off or whatever from Cisco, go out and start their own, and then Cisco buys them, right? And then guess what? These guys, they'll go do that, they'll take their money, and they'll go out and start something else out that Cisco will end up buying again. But this is a model that they use for bringing in technology. And the Econo solution, I mean, golly, what a beautiful, in addition to tying into Skype for Business and the cross-platform piece, some great user experience that they've delivered there also.
Yes.
Extremely simple.
Yes.
So it looks like a great product, and it is interesting that you're seeing these large companies and where innovation is really occurring, and maybe it's not so much inside the large companies, it's actually done here, and then acquisitions are made, and then the value comes from integrating it in with the other product lines, such as their SX line and others, right?
Yeah, the other dynamic that we see is occurring is, years ago, you'd be a Cisco house, a Polycom house. Your entire real estate was dedicated, and you see it even in control. There's the AMX house, and then there's the other guy's house. That's going away. I mean, one of the things that scared us, we were involved in planning, 3-year planning with a couple of our clients. In September, they said, yeah, we're going to do Skype for Business. Well, you have 60,000 employees. How are you going to do that? Oh, we're fully prepared. And you're like, oh my, oh my, and they stepped in and were able to turn on switches to make things happen and turn on lights, and people were, and what was the most remarkable thing is it wasn't disruptive to what we were doing. It was in addition to what they were doing. They didn't make the rooms go away. They didn't change. They included some huddle spaces that had the SX properties. It was nothing but a growth, and you're sitting here going, "This is wonderful." And part of that was software like Econo giving you the ability to do that, the freedom to make the change and not to be tied. And I think that Cisco recognized that.
Right.
Well.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. From again the SCN magazine, the top 50 systems integrators in the U.S. Number 1 is, I don't think is a surprise, is AVI SPL. Whitlock is on there. Number 36 is, holy cow, John Green. Look at you guys go.
Yeah,
Do you have a speech ready?
Yeah, here's my speech. I should lie a little bit more next year.
So you can jump over barracks or something?
Yeah, I gotta call those guys up and see what they're gonna do. It's like a little parlor game going on here.
Yeah, I saw our buddy Tom from Barracks at the AVWeek conference, and the fact that he's a cover boy now and has not gone to his head in any way, shape, or form.
Right, or cover boy, global cover boy, not
global cover boy. Yeah, if you haven't seen the new issue of Commercial Integrator magazine, Tom Barry Jr. is on the cover of that. So.
Yeah, they're a competitor of ours, but I got to tell you that I honestly have to say that their story and how they went to global and the things that they overcame, it's a remarkable story.
Yeah.
Kudos.
From us across the pond, a couple of points in that. One, we would like to see something similar on our side.
Okay.
I don't think anything exists. It's also great to see that it's not just a revenue race. It seems to be real thought in terms of you're getting marked on the strategic side as well. So it's not just who's got the biggest bat.
Right.
So yeah, it'd be great to see that in Europe, and then finally, congratulations to some of the guys that we work with, the guys at Tierney Brothers, who we have a great relationship with, the guys at AVI, Electrosonic. Right. And to our new friends as well, so congratulations to you, John.
Thank you.
Well, and honestly, to your point, Ed, our friends over at Pro AV Magazine, we're going to be doing some stuff with them at ISE in Amsterdam. I think they put something like this together. At least I thought they did. I'll double check with them.
Well, I double checked just to get my cross T's and dot I's just before I came on. I was like, I'm not dreaming this, and I just did a quick cursory search of
don't do it.
Top 50. EMEA, Europe, SI.
Well, I can tell you that would solve a problem for me. I honestly have to tell you is that if we understood who was over there and who was doing a decent job, the partnerships that we would reach out to, we would. Yeah. It's a critical tool. So I hope somebody out there is listening to this.
And so just on the kind of the negatives and the flip side of that, as a resource, we're some of our guys, even at a sales level or a partnership or biz dev, are able to say, hey, these are the top 50 guys in that space.
Sure.
And these guys have expertise here. Look at the IQ piece, and we're able to identify who's doing good work, what kind of work that they're doing, and is there some alignment? And that's an invaluable resource, an invaluable tool, even at a list level. It's
right. I agree with you. I truly do. And oddly enough, even after this podcast, I'm probably going to reach out to you. I mean, there's opportunities that we could get together on.
Likewise, yeah. Yep. You're just tallying up for a trip to Ireland, right? I
could do that, but we don't want everybody to know that, Ed. We gotta.
Marina's listening to this.
And apparently, wherever I go, she has to go. So.
And Clive, if you're listening, go take care of that. That just gave him an entire. You just gave him an entire issue,
right.
For free, Ed. But honestly, the question here is besides that, obviously congratulate John. How do you get on this list, right? And I'm not asking from a simplistic is you email Lindsay Adler and SCN and say, hey, this is how much we made. But John, how'd you guys get there?
We've been on it for 6 years in a row, and first of it's an offer to everybody in the industry. The SCN has done a remarkable job in that, and it's part of it is do you want to give up the information? Yeah. And I think that sometimes people say, well, if I give them my numbers, then I'm giving away my secret sauce, or if I say I do this, somebody's going to come after, and it's so old school that it's what I'm afraid is half a dozen people will wake up and knock me off the list, because there's a fair amount of people that do much more business than us that just simply don't report.
Yeah.
And if you were to make a suggestion, it may be one of those is just to find a directory without numbers, and you'd probably have a good directory too.
Hmm.
But it's a fun contest. I mean, joking about it, I will call Tom up and go, so what do you think your numbers this year? So,
You haven't seen Tom. Never mind. I'm not. Yeah. Never mind. Sean, you guys have got a lot of clients on here.
A lot.
How do you help them get there? I mean, what I'm trying to get is how do you get up on this list? How do you jump over, Tierney Brothers or Radiant or Interactive?
So one of the challenges we've seen with some of the smaller, very small integrators is, sometimes they don't have a large programming staff to do, Netlinks programming and things like that. And that's where it's our job to make tools like AMX RPM available so that they can go out and start being successful with installing hardware without the custom of programming, just to get a revenue stream flowing. And then they can come in, and while they're getting that revenue stream going, then they can go and start justifying some training and start getting guys ramped up on Netlinks to do the bigger, larger jobs. But, there's a tremendous amount of medium-sized conference rooms, huddle spaces, volume-wise, that you don't really need customized programming to go and deliver on. And Tim, I know I hate to say that from your previous job, but on the larger spaces, there's always those needs to do that. But that's our way of helping the smaller guys be able to actually get revenue streams flowing and delivering value to customers while they're, ramping up to do the larger stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
At the end of the day, it's all about service, right? Whoever's providing the best service to the customer, and we all know, you guys are in the business, you guys know that this stuff is not plug and play across our industry, and the challenges that go into that. And a lot of the AV technologies are going to be on the cutting edge. We're going to talk about 4K, and there's HDMI 2.0 and all that kind of stuff. There's challenges, and so providing that great service to the customer and delivering great outcomes, partnered with manufacturers to do that. If customers are happy with you, they will continue spending more money with you, and then there's word of mouth. It's a relatively small industry, and that word gets around who's providing the best service, and companies grow as a result.
I got to tell you, the other thing I think it's I was just again even today I was speaking to Lindsay Adler at SCN Magazine, and one of the things we were talking about was what. If we were to future guess what's going to happen for the industry, we can obviously see that there's mergers. I mean, there's going to be companies that are going to come together and make $60 million organizations and people that do $100 million. But I also think that the people that are going to hit that list coming are what I would call the Smith shops, specialists. And I agree with you, Sean, that we could. There are customers that we're currently working with that have that kind of a rollout that they could simply have 2 or 3 vendors literally on campus working in harmony, get work done. And if we're working about in the big space at $1 million, they could be working at 20 spaces worth $25,000. And I think that's so the Smith specialist, whether they can do the programming or they're acoustical or the chops there, that's going to be. I see nothing but growth for our industry for the next couple of years in that regard. I really do.
Absolutely. All right, Sean mentioned 4K as we wrap up here, guys. There's an article on CNET asking where you can get 4K content. Honestly, still currently, you're looking at streaming. You're looking at streaming like Amazon. You're looking at YouTube. You're looking at Netflix. DirecTV does have some movies for rent, and it goes into basically the bottom line of the article is, should we worry about 4K? Should you get it this holiday season for your family as a family gift or what have you? Sean, we'll start with you.
No, my own response is I can get the bandwidth. I can buy it from Almo.
Well, you see what you did there? That's what you call a foldback, kids. That right there is a professional broadcaster.
That's there you go. I'm walking after that.
There you go, Mr. Robinson. Are we there yet? I mean, whether it's pro or resi, are we there yet?
Yeah. Well, you asked the residential question: should I buy a 4K TV this Christmas? And it comes down to future proofing. It's the same thing for corporate, right? People don't want to go buy it again. Although residential, sometimes you'll be switching out your TVs more often than not, and they get more cost effective every day. So there is limitations on content. But 4K is coming. This is not like 3D. We all know there's some great functionality that comes along with 4K. It's going to be here. I think the real key here is not just on the content side. It's HDCP 2.2 and HDMI 2.0, and when things really start opening up, Yeah, that's always been the question: is when is it truly going to be? Yes, the displays are here. When is there truly going to be some value to this? We'll start seeing it. What's really interesting is, the only way to get it is streaming over 25 meg, and we all know, 4K 30 uncompressed is approaching 10 gig. That's an amazing amount of compression. So, are you truly getting 4K at the end of the day or not? And really, when it's just a trade-off of bandwidth and latency. And when you're doing things like Netflix, you can have almost infinite latency because they can churn on those codecs up front, right? And so, and you never know. But if you're in the same room with the content, it's just completely unacceptable. So, again, residential applications here, but PCs, laptops, we're already seeing 4K.
Yep. So
yeah, it's upon us.
John, you're going to get your 4K from Almo, and we'll be good.
Yeah, I had to buy my plasma there too. Or I'm dating myself. Whatever.
You know what? If I can still buy a freaking plasma, I would do it in a heartbeat. They still haven't got me a freaking OLED yet, so
that's right. Yeah,
it's not $30,000.
I'm trying to drop over that too.
Yeah. All right, Ed, we're not gonna because Ireland's still running 480i. So.
Yeah, you guys are CCAM, right?
Our remote controls are still hardwired into.
Like a 4-pin DIN, or do you like to?
Yes.
Four channels, and then only one channel after 9 p.m.
Yeah. Actually, John, I'll date myself. Technically, Ireland was not CCAM. Ireland was PAL.
Was it PAL?
France was CCAM.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it was weird. So.
France being obnoxious as always.
Wow. Be nice to the French. They have baguettes. All right. That's going to do it for us. Ed, thank you so much, sir. I hope we didn't screw you too much.
Thanks. And yeah, really great to be involved, and really great to hear points of view that are so refreshing from yourself, John, and the openness. Thanks. And wanting to work with other companies, and from you, Sean, as well. It's been really refreshing, and yeah, it's been a great 30 minutes. And John, I'd love to hook up maybe at the start of next week. We should get a chat.
Absolutely. Hey, Ed, I got to tell you, one thing for sure is, my high school teacher says, you always need an opinion. You can go to green. Whether it's informed or not, that's a different story.
Ed, if somebody wants to get a hold of you or DisplayNote, how do they do so?
Twitter at DisplayNote, DisplayNote.com, and DisplayNote.com/montage for a new wireless presentation.
Well,
so
there you go.
Any of those three handles.
All right. Mr. Robinson, thank you, sir. Tell the overlords at Ed Harmon we said thank you for giving us that and not docking your pay.
I will tell Bradford you said that.
Yes. How can people get a hold of you and or AMX and or Harmon?
Sure, it's Sean Robinson, and that's with a U and not a W. So, which I believe is one of the Irish ways of spelling it, in addition to the SEAN. Sean Robinson, that's at alharmon.com or on LinkedIn.
All right, very good.
Or come see us at amx.com.
Or come see us at amx.com. If you're going to ISE, you see them there.
Yes. Any of you guys making the trip to ISE?
Absolutely, that's our biggest show. It's actually bigger than InfoComm for us now. So we'll be there with all of our.
Year.
It was huge, and we'll actually have an extremely large amount of floor space under the Harmon emblem there. So come and see us. It'll be a pretty select booth. So we'll be really.
We're one of the gold sponsors of the show this year, so we're
excellent.
Stepping up a gear, and it'd be great if you're there. It'd be great to get a beer together. I know everyone says that, and it never works out, but let's potentially get a beer together.
Absolutely, I'm all in for that. Great, and we love Amsterdam. I wish we could go in a little warmer time of year, but again, love Amsterdam, love the food, love the people, love the beers. Yeah. So yeah, let's do it.
Good.
All right, Mr. Green. Last but not least, you, sir, at Advanced AV.
Yep, it's at Twitter. It's Advanced AV Advanced _AV, and I also have my own personal at jgreen6. Yeah. And I'm pretty much on it all the time.
Yes, he is. And Marina Gregory is back, so check her out as well. My name is Tim Albright. Don't follow me on the website. Don't follow me on Twitter, but go by the website if you would, please. avnation.tv. avnation.tv. You'll find this program and a host of others. Coming up this week, we did something interesting. We're taking a survey right now. It started with our newsletter folks. We have a newsletter. If you're interested, go by the website. You can sign up there. You'll get stuff like you'll get synopses of what we've done for as far as podcasting and blogs, and we've also got some some exclusive stuff from the newsletters as well. But we're taking a survey, and it kind of basically tell us what to do is how I worded it. It'll be on the blog this week. Click on the link. Just give us 5 minutes. Tell us where you are in the industry and what you'd like to hear from us. So do that. Also check out our underwriters page, and again, I would like to thank John as being the only integrator. The only integrator who is on our underwriters list. So
proud to be part of the team, Tim. Truly.
So yeah, go by the website. You'll find this program and a host of others. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for watching. This has been AV Week.
Thanks, guys.